Shalom Rabbi Wolberg. Thank you for joining us. So I understand that you were a Talmud, Reb Yoel. Can you share with us a little bit about your experience?
Okay, I can tell you like this. I mean, when I was in 770, it wasn't real. I was in 770, let's say. I came to 770 Lamed Dalet. At that time, Rabbi Yoel didn't really give shiurim in 770. You really had no access to Rabbi Yoel. But you could go speak to him. But as a Talmud, to be a Talmud of his, there was really only one way. And that was, there was a kfutza. They used to go to Ocean Parkway. They were like a kfutza of shluchim, so to speak, to Ocean Parkway. And they would be like, they would be in the Zal of Ocean Parkway, to Mechazik Ocean Parkway. Rabbi Yoel would be their mashpia. That's the place where Rabbi Yoel gave shiur Machsidus. So that time, I think it was in Lamed Vav, if I'm not mistaken. Lamed Vav, that's when we went to Ocean Parkway. My kita, the kita, we went to Ocean Parkway. There's a lot of the kitas went that time. The Rebbe sent on shlichus to Eretz Yisrael and to Canada and to whatever, and to Brumois. But there was a kfutza that went to Ocean Parkway. And that's when we started learning Rabbi Yoel. He used to learn with us. He used to bring with us. It was like Rabbi Yoel was very fanuman with us at that point in time. That was, so to speak, his kita. That was, so to speak, the beginning of getting to know him. When it's just saying that's how it developed. Weiter, I mean, later on, as time developed, Rabbi Yoel also was a very, besides who he was as far as his seichel was concerned, he was a very personable person. He was an extremely personable person. In other words, there were various different issues, that I went through, and Rabbi Yoel always took a very personal interest. It was very personally involved. It wasn't like ball of his man. He took a very personal interest. It wasn't only an intellectual relationship. It was a very personal relationship. I'm just saying I'm saying mitzidei. I don't mean mitzidei. I'm saying that's the type of person he was with all his talmidim, with the people that he was close with. So there was a very personal relationship. Not really sure what more to say about remembering those years. I want to just point out one thing maybe that I feel is something which Rabbi Yoel used to koch him, and he also personified this concept. And that is, Rabbi Yoel Bechlal very much spoke about the inyan that on one hand, when we speak about Chassidus Chabad, the ufta of Chassidus Chabad, the ufta of Chassidus, he would explain that Be'emes, the chiddush of the Baal Shem Tov, was to be megala, the neshama of a yid, the purity of a yid's neshama, which expresses itself in emunah pshuta. There's a certain emunah pshuta, which is not like the Welt understands emunah pshuta, that, I'm not 100% sure, I just have emunah about it. Punkt verkehrt. The emunah pshuta is the certainty of a neshama, as it's discussed, let's say, in Vata Tetzaveh, the gili of the neshama of a yid that's expressed in emunah pshuta. And that's bechlolis, the chiddush of the Baal Shem Tov of being megala, the esem neshama. On the other hand, Alter Rebbe speaks about Chabad, about seichel. And there were those that argued with Alter Rebbe, they timed it, that if you'll have seichel, so then you're going to lose out on the emunah pshuta, because then it's going to lose the pshitus. And the truth of the matter is that Alter Rebbe is timed fakert, that if emunah pshuta cannot come down into seichel, so then it's missing in the emunah pshuta. In other words, the atzmus of the yid is so pure that seichel is not a hagbola to that atzmus. That was the nekuda that Rabbi Yoel spoke about very, very much. And so the idea is that seichel is not like seichel of chakira, like a chakira dik seichel. The whole gather of the seichel was that the emunah should be leichten in seichel. I remember, like he was saying, saying over from Reb Michael Apotzker, that they asked him, was when der ufte von Alten Rebbe. So he started draying with his finger, and said, at der Bein vom Kopf hat verstanden Havaya Echad. So Pshat is, Havaya Echad is the emes from Alikus. And the emes of Alikus came down even in Seichel. So no, it's not a chakira dik seichel. It's like, I'm just saying, but Rabbi Yoel, I'm not talking about him Madregas. On one hand, Rabbi Yoel was big in seichel, and not going to speak mas Rabbi Yoel. But on the other hand, there was a certain pshitus. There was a certain, the emunah which emanated from Rabbi Yoel. It was like in a very, very pshitusdik way. It was like a very simple. Some people even had problems with his simplicity and his black and white emunah azeidos. The statements he made at various different times, which brought out a certain pshitus of certain pshitus of his emunah. And on the other hand, it was all like somewhere or another, it came down into seichel. In other words, it wasn't like a chakira seichel. I'm not sure if I'm saying it clear what I'm saying, but I'm saying this concept, which at Chazei gekocht in them, the idea that the tachlis is, he would speak about it and speak about the different madregas and how it came down into seichel, bisman Alter Rebbe, and then how through the Rabbeim it came down more into seichel, and how through the Rebbe it came down mamish into seichel. There's the seichel of this. We speak about this, the seichel of someone learning Likkutei Torah, and the seichel of someone sitting in Lubavitch, and then the seichel of someone sitting in university and learning seichel. There was like different madrigas of seichel, but it's all that the purity of the inyan should come down into seichel. I'm just saying a word that I like, that to me was comes to mind when I was speaking about Reb Yoel. So I'm saying these two, this Indian, first of all, he was a very personable person. He wasn't like, even though on certain way you would think he's removed, he wasn't a removed person. Maybe you could have that impression, but he wasn't that type of a person. He was a very personable person. Like he took things and even things on a personal level, he took a personal interest in things that were maybe not so easy for him. But I remember coming to me and speaking to me about things that I don't think was easy for him to speak about. But, he spoke about it because he wanted to help me. I'm just saying a little thing. Another thing I could maybe say about Rabbi Yoel. Rabbi Yoel was like one of the things that everyone knows about him. The idea of a tzir, of any type of a tzir, was something that was like to him, Posel betachlus apostles. So I remember one fabring in Ocean Parkway. So breaking in Ocean Parkway, and I can't resist in saying over the humorous side of it. Rabbi Yoel used to smoke, and he would light the cigarette. It would be a whole effort lighting the cigarette. It would be a whole aseder naveda. I would light the cigarette, and punkt. It was a chavdal tevis. Then it was chavdal tevis. And it's just, I don't know who bought him a lighter. He got a lighter. He got a lighter. He bought a lighter. He had a lighter. So now he had a cigarette and the lighter. And that Fabrengen, Reb Yoel was speaking about Kabbalah Seil. That was the Nekud of the Fabrengen. And the Nekud of the Fabrengen was that the Cheshbon HaNefesh that you have to have at the end of the day is not in my Kabbalah Seilnik. The Cheshbon HaNefesh is who is the Balabos in your life. Because when a person says my Kabbalah Seilnik, it's Yotzir, my Kabbalah Seilnik, I'm not a Kabbalah Seilnik. So that's nicht wegen dir. So that's nicht wegen du bist dabei Kabbalah Seilnik. So that's a very the Balabos. That was the Nekuda. Lepel, he was lighting I don't know why I'm adding this knowledge kind. He was lighting the cigarette. And Lepel, based on Reb Yoel, in Chacham Samaisa, he wasn't such a mumch in Chacham Samaisa. So mainly he lit the cigarette. He knew that you have to pull down. There was like a certain thing. You pull it down and you roll it. That's how the cigarette goes up. But in his mind, if the cigarette is lit, if the lighter is lit by pulling it down this way, so Mustama, when you turn it out, you have to turn it the other way. I'll be honest, I don't think I would have noticed it. But the Zwischen the Chevre that were there, they were like Chevre, which whatever, it was like Pasha, they burst out laughing. And every time we lit a cigarette and he closed the lighter, so Pasha, they couldn't stop laughing. Rabbi Yoel had no idea why they're laughing. So Rabbi Yoel kept on saying, Ich verstehe es, was lacht. Lacht, was ich redet wegen Kabbalah Seil. Und mainly, that was going on all night. So all night he was speaking about Kabbalah Seil. All night he was speaking about how you have to be with Kabbalah Seil, and you shouldn't be the tzir of the Kabbalah Seil, but that was the Nekud of the word, which is all the shitase of this word, this Indian of no tzir. And on the other hand, Rabbi Yoel was gekocht. that in the case, Lamashal, that was also a big thing by him, that in the case when Simon Tzachvafat Samayonis, so the idea of not being a tzir, you know, you shouldn't be a tzir of not being a tzir, because being a tzir is not a stira to bittul fakir. Just like seichel is not a stira to emunah pshuta, so being a tzir is not a stira to bittul, because you're being a tzir mitzad the bittul. You always had the story, the famous story with the Mashoya, with the Mashoya, yeah, that Mashoya, you know the story with the Mashoya. That was also a story by him who says to gekochten them. That Mr. Nefesh, as a Haris gewesen, I'm sure you have other people to talk to there.
No, but that was him. That was besides what he spoke. That was the non-seer, fully committed to the Inyan, to the idea, to the truth of what he was.
I can't hear you.
There was no.
Sorry.
There was no. It wasn't about the person. It wasn't about him. It wasn't about the person. It was about the.
Yeah, it was about the Inyan. Yeah. I just feel that like it's important to say that you know how many people feel so like indebted to him for their understanding a little bit understanding of Chassidus and a little bit understanding about what Chassidus is and what the Rebbe is and what Chabad is and what Mashiach is. You know, so many things that people like many of us. I mean, all the people that learned by him. I mean, all the people that learned by him were touched by him. That's, I think, something you have people. I remember once hearing from Mrs. Khan. She was saying there's the Talmida and there are people that are in your class. There's different madregas. People that are in your class and Talmidos. He had the Talmidim. He had Talmidim, a lot of Talmidim, a lot of people Talmidim. And all the Talmidim today are Talmidim, all people that, he was really a big keli to be able to be Maiver, of Rebbe, Chassidus, to us, to this, to.
It wasn't just besides the actual content of what he communicated, but the whole mahalach hamachshava, the way of thinking. Once you were learned by him, it was a whole different way of thinking of that.
Yeah.
Okay, Shakaya, thank you everyone for your time.